All right, let's talk about something that pretty much every homeowner dreads, but very few really understand: water damage. We're going to pull back the curtain on the surprisingly complex science of what happens when water gets where it shouldn't be, and why acting fast isn't just a good idea, it's everything.
Take a look at this number, 48. What is that? Well, that's the number of hours you have, maybe, from the time a leak starts before mold can actually start growing inside your walls. And if you live somewhere humid, that window can be even smaller. We're talking about a 48-hour race that separates a manageable problem from a major disaster. To really see this in action, we're going to zoom in on one specific place that is basically a perfect storm for water damage: Estelle, Louisiana. The challenges they face there really show you how geography, climate, and even history can team up to make water a home's worst enemy. Just look at how all these different things stack up in Estelle. For starters, it's 3 feet below sea level, so there's always pressure from groundwater. The soil is packed with clay, which doesn't drain well. It just holds water right up against a home's foundation. Add in a sticky 75% average humidity all year long, and you get an environment where things just never, ever fully dry out. And the cherry on top? A lot of older homes have aging cast iron pipes. It's a recipe for disaster where water really has nowhere else to go but inside. You know, even the way the houses are built can make things worse. Many have what's called a slab-on-grade foundation, meaning the house sits directly on a big slab of concrete. Now, if water gets underneath that slab, it's completely trapped. You can't see it, you can't get to it, but it's down there, soaking insulation and feeding mold colonies right under your living room floor. So while Estelle has some really unique challenges, this next part applies to absolutely everyone, no matter where you live. The moment you have unwanted water in your house, a clock starts ticking. This is that 48-hour race against permanent damage. Let's just walk through how incredibly fast this all happens. In just 1 hour, 60 minutes, water is already spreading through your drywall and soaking into the subfloors. Give it 24 hours, and the real physical damage starts. Building materials begin to swell, wood floors start to warp. Then you hit that 48-hour mark. That's the tipping point. Mold starts to grow and spread. And after a week, the actual structural integrity of your home can be at risk, not to mention the chance of widespread contamination. The speed is just breathtaking. So what fuels this crazy fast escalation? Sheer volume. A single burst pipe can pump out 8 to 10 gallons of water per minute. Let that sink in. In less than 10 minutes, you could have nearly 100 gallons of water flooding your walls and floors. It turns a simple plumbing issue into an absolute catastrophe. Just like that. So the problem is fast, it's destructive, it's a mess. But the solution isn't just about mops and towels, it's about science. Let's dig into the actual principles that professionals use for water restoration, because it is so much more than just wiping up a spill. Professionals rely on a science called psychrometrics. It sounds complicated, but the idea is pretty simple. It's just the study of how air, temperature, and moisture all relate to each other. For instance, if you heat up the air in a room, it can hold more moisture. It's like a bigger sponge. Then you bring in massive dehumidifiers to suck in all that moisture-filled air and squeeze the water out. This creates a powerful drying system that literally pulls hidden moisture right out of the walls. And they're not just guessing how to do this. The entire restoration industry follows something called the IICRC S500 standard. Think of it as the official, science-backed rulebook for dealing with water damage. It lays out the exact procedures for everything, from how to measure moisture to how to handle dangerous contaminated water. It makes sure every step is safe and effective. A really critical part of that rulebook is knowing exactly what kind of water you're dealing with. Category 1 is clean water, like from a broken water supply line. Category 2 is gray water. A little contaminated, think of a leaking dishwasher. But Category 3, black water, is the really dangerous one. This is raw sewage or floodwater, and anything that gets touched by black water can't just be dried. It has to be completely removed. It's a crucial distinction for everyone's safety. You see, the goal isn't just for things to feel dry. It's to hit a very specific, scientific target called a dry standard. For wood, that means getting the moisture content below 15%. Concrete has its own target. Drywall has to match the moisture level of a totally unaffected area in the house. Hitting these precise numbers is the only way to guarantee that mold won't come back and that the structure is sound. Okay, so we know the science, but how do the pros actually put it all into practice? Let's run through the playbook they use when they show up to a water emergency. It really all boils down to 3 distinct phases. Phase 1 is the emergency response. Get in, figure out how bad it is, and extract all the standing water immediately. Phase 2 is that controlled drying we talked about, using all the scientific equipment to pull out the hidden moisture. And finally, phase 3 is the repair and restoration. That's when any contaminated materials get removed and your home gets put back together.
And this is why trying to clean it up yourself is so risky. You might be able to get the water you can see, but you're almost guaranteed to miss the moisture that's trapped deep inside walls or under floors. And that, of course, is a direct invitation for mold. A professional approach uses moisture mapping and scientific standards to hunt down and eliminate every last bit of water, preventing all that nasty secondary damage.
Of course, beyond the physical cleanup, you got the whole logistical nightmare of dealing with insurance and paying for everything. A proper professional process is actually designed to help you handle that side of the crisis too. A huge part of the service is managing the insurance claim process for you. That means taking tons of photos before they touch anything, creating detailed moisture maps to use as evidence, writing estimates using the exact software that insurance adjusters use, and talking directly to your adjuster. All that documentation is absolutely critical to getting your claim approved and fully paid for. And you'd better believe the financial stakes are high. If we look at the typical costs back in our Estelle case study, a minor leak might run you $1,500. A standard job often lands around $5,000, but a major flood, you could easily be looking at $20,000 or a whole lot more. This just proves why acting fast isn't just about saving your home, it's about saving yourself from a crippling expense.
So the takeaway here is pretty clear. Water damage is not just some inconvenience. It's not just a mess. It is a scientific event that's unfolding inside the very structure of your home. It follows a predictable, destructive path, and the only way to stop it is with a fast, expert response that respects the science of how things get dry. So, we'll just leave you with this question to think about. Water is the hidden threat. It's lurking inside every wall, under every floor. And now that you know the science behind the damage it causes, and you know the speed, is your home really prepared for it?